Hi, everybody. This is Mike, and we are about 5 weeks out from the 2022 Vanguard GT. So I'm going to start doing little quick updates just to tell you guys what you need to know for the event. This is the first one. I'm going to talk a little bit about the logistics of the property where we're staying. First, it's at a private B&B that I live at. There's several bedrooms. They're already booked. There is camping space still. So I'll say this: if you haven't already figured out where you want to stay, if you think camping is a decent option for you, you can do that for $10, and that just covers the cost of breakfasts and access to like showers and things like that. The folks that have rooms reserved probably have floor space, which they might be willing to share with people. And if they are, you can probably just post on Facebook, like, hey, looking for crash space at the house, and see if anybody will be willing to share with you. Or if you already know somebody that has a room, you could ask them. So yeah, and if you don't want to camp and you don't want to crash on like an air mattress on somebody's floor, there are hotels nearby that I'll be happy to send you some recommendations for places where people have stayed before, that it's pretty easy to get to and from the property. Next, I want to mention parking, because parking is the thing that I run out of first here. So I'm going to ask people in as much as possible to please carpool, so that we can, not run out of parking spaces. Like, I don't want anybody to have to park all the way down on the street. We're going to have some folks coming in and out because they're staying off the property, or we might have things like food deliveries over the course of the weekend. We need them to be able to get up here and get to the door. So if you're coming from an area with someone, I would definitely encourage everyone to carpool. If you are staying offsite at a hotel or at somebody's house, I would also ask you to maybe coordinate carpooling, as many people from the hotel in one car as possible, just so we can make sure that we don't fill up too much of the parking area too quickly, and have any sort of gridlock issues, or anybody having to park, all the way down the street and walk all the way up to the house. So please try to figure out your carpooling situation, and don't just drive yourself here. Now, in terms of meals, we are going to be serving folks lunch both days, Friday and Saturday. Excuse me, Saturday and Sunday, and dinner on Saturday. We will also be serving breakfast on Saturday and Sunday for folks that are staying on site. So that's people that are staying in the house or who are camping. If you have any dietary restrictions, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can do whatever we need to do to accommodate you. You can send those to to@vanguardgt.org, or you can post them on Facebook or message me on Facebook. Just, the sooner you let me know, the more likely it is that we'll be able to take care of you there. Both in terms of actual meals and in terms of things like snacks to have on site that are safe for you or appropriate for you as well. The other thing I want to talk about is how I do appearance scoring. Because while people still have, a month, you might be deciding which units to bring. You might still be doing some painting or some display board making. So I wanted to make sure I went over that a little bit, just so everyone is fully aware of how we go about this. So I'm going to bring up my score sheet here. So it is a 30-point, 0 to 30-point caption. We are doing blackjack scoring. So that's, 5 rounds at 21 points each, for 105 battle points. It is 30 points for appearance and 30 points for sports. There are 4 tiers and 3 captions. I plan to publish the caption scores when the event is over, to give everybody a little bit of visibility into. I need to update that. It says 12 points across the top. It should only be 10. So it's 3 10-point categories. I'll go fix that now. Right, you'll get told what your scores of individual captions are, and you will be able to see everybody else's. So if somebody had a higher score than you, you can kind of see which sort of thing they did better than you did. And they are in 4 tiers. So going down the left side of the score sheet there, below tabletop quality basically means you didn't meet expectations. You're either not fully painted or not fully based or something like that. Tabletop quality means you meet expectations of that sort of classic, three color standard, fully painted, fully based army. The next tier up from that is tabletop quality, and now you get into things where people are doing more advanced techniques. And then the display quality is the top level. Like that's your, you could take these models to an actual display model contest, like a crystal brush kind of thing. You don't see a lot of those in Kings of War, but I don't believe in perfect appearance scores, and I like setting the bar as high as possible. But like nobody's getting a 30. If you get over a 20, you've done something pretty impressive. And then the 3 captions are paint, which is just what it sounds like. It's literally just paint, paying attention to nothing else. That's going to be like how well you painted the models, how well you selected your palette, and how well you executed the techniques that you have attempted. I don't have like a laundry list of techniques that I want to see. I just want you to have done the ones that you have attempted very well, and I want you to have attempted some advanced techniques. But like every army doesn't need to have wet blending, doesn't need to have non-metallic metal, doesn't need to have like whatever makes sense for you to put on your army. So long as you've done some good looking stuff and it looks good, you should do well there. Second caption is composition, and that's the physical aspects. So that's how you've assembled and cleaned your models and how you've arranged and posed them and what sort of things you've put on the base in terms of elevation or topography or scenery. So just your physical construction aspects there. And again, if you cover the entire base with ballast or flock and or dry brush it or paint it, whatever, then you'll end up in that tier 2 tabletop quality area. When you get into fancy things of like you're putting scenery on the bases and you're making little dynamic vignettes and things like that, that's where you start getting higher and higher here. And then for general effect, that's sort of the paint and composition are sort of the 2. Get down really close and look at individual models, kind of captions, and general effect is sort of the stand back and take the whole army in as one caption. So is there a theme? Is there a consistent color scheme? Is there a consistent impression that the army gives, and like how good a job does it do that? Is this army trying to tell me a story? Is this army supposed to look intimidating? Is it supposed to look scary? Is it supposed to look funny? Like, what are you trying to do with this army? And like, how well or how strongly do you do it? And again, like, you picked a consistent color scheme and a consistent basing scheme, and you did that for the whole army. We'll land you in tier 2. Because my general approach to this is if you meet expectations of you brought a fully painted army and it all looks consistent and like it's one coherent army, then you'll end up with the equivalent of a blackjack draw somewhere in the 10 to 12 point area. If you don't fully meet expectations, like you have some unpainted stuff or you didn't base things, or some of your units like clearly don't go with the rest of your army, then you'll end up with below that. And if you go above and beyond, then you might land in the higher tiers for one of these captions, one or more of these captions, and that'll of course bring your score up. So there you go. This is linked in the rules section of the website. If you want to look at it more, you can just go to vanguardgt.org and click on the rules and scroll down, and there's a link to it. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. But again, like the general guidelines are, if your army is fully painted, you can expect the equivalent of a tie score, a tie blackjack score. If you do really well, then you'll get the equivalent of a win. If you do really, really, really well, then you'll get more than a 21. But I don't think I've ever given anybody more than like a 24, because again, like having a full display quality army is not something you see very often in Kings of War. So I think that's all I was planning on talking to you guys about today. So I talked a little bit about parking and talked about asking you guys to carpool. I told you guys that there's camping and crash space available if you're interested. I talked a little bit about the meals that we're going to be offering and to let you guys know if you have any dietary restrictions to please let me know. And then I talked a little bit about appearance scores. So coming up between now and the event, I'm going to talk about things like the terrain and the scenarios and when we're going to do the matchup cast and when lists are due, and the 2-point bonus objectives, and anything else that seems like it might be interesting or useful. Once we get really close and things are getting set up, I'll probably do a walk around the property video just to let people see where things are laid out if they haven't been here before. But that'll all come later over the next 5 weeks. So start getting your armies together, getting them painted, and we will talk to you guys later and see you in just a few short weeks at Vanguard GT.